everybody. Welcome. Hi, Sally. Hi. This is the beautiful lemon aura gold bowl that works with the solar plexus. I know so many of us are really having to work very hard just now to stay steady and in center. This beautiful lemon aura gold bowl brings us back in to softly connect with that sense of steadfastness, of that steadiness of the flame of the solar plexus. Of course, in Chinese medicine that would be called the triple burner. So it is a fire energy. It's an alchemy energy, but it's also our center of personal will. And in these times, it is really difficult to stay in that place of inner mastery. And this is our pathway. How steady can we stay? So this is just a beautiful, beautiful energy to work with. Let's say it's lemon aura gold. She's bright and she's cheerful. Hi, Elias. I hope you're all doing well. It's really such a powerful time as the moon starts to come into its zenith, which is, I think, about 4 o'clock in the morning UK tomorrow. But it's really bright out there this evening, and it's such a cold evening here in the UK that actually I feel very blessed to be sat in by the wood burner and be able to keep really cozy and warm. And Kit's just come in to join us, and she doesn't like the bowls very much, so there's some complaint going on to management. Anyway, this full moon is at 16 degrees of Gemini, so it's running a Gemini Sagittarius Sun moon, and the moon is conjunct retrograde Mars, and that really feels to me to be part of the keynote of this particular full moon. This Mars, our energy for life, our energy to move things forward, has been retrograde for a while now and will stay retrograde. So what's it inviting us to have a look at? What's it inviting us to explore that we've still got running? Hi, Brigitte. Hi. So for me, it's really because this whole thing, this whole full moon is conjunct my my Jupiter in my chart. So there is a really significant point for this particular this particular full moon. Hello, MJ. Hi. So it really calls us, this retrograde Mars, to look at our actions. Anything that's retrograde is always going to call us to review And there really feels to be a point of reviewing the path this far. We know the path of action, should I say, this far. We know that we're coming into a very strong energetic window on the 10th, 11th and 12th of this month. The 12th will be a 10-year journey from 12, 12, 12. So the 12, 12, 22 is going to offer us yet another pulse point on our journey. And there is a real feeling for me that this is such a significant year for those of us who are working with consciousness, with our energy, and consciousness with this path of light, this path of mastery. So working through this coming weekend and the energy signature of this weekend, perhaps this moon is really asking us to get super clear about what it is that we have been journeying with this year. What activity, what action have we been taking? And I do recall at the time of the equinox that there was a very strong guidance for me that actually whatever I thought that I might be doing for 2023, that wasn't the whole picture, and that this journey to the solstice would be offering new insights and new wisdoms and a new pathway forward. And I think for many people there will be a complete recalibration as we go through the solstice and as we start to move towards the energy of 2023 in that deepening of a question within us. What's complete? What no longer holds a light for me? What no longer holds an energy of positivity and an energy of a sense of inner peace, a sense of inner alignment to whatever it is that is our path of doing this. And this Mars retrograde, I think, is a very reflective point for us. Gemini is a very busy energy. It can be quite scattered, as I well know, because it's also my ascendant in my chart. So actually, this is a real pause point. You know, when you've got Mercury going retrograde, it's a pause point on our activity going forward, so that we get it right. This is a real opportunity for us to be super clear about what it is that is calling us forward, and to be comfortable with letting things go, letting go of old connections, letting go of stuff. I know many of you have been working on a path of refinement, refine and align. That has been such a keynote for so many this year. And, you know, big changes. As many of you know, I've moved 2 hours west from somewhere that has been a familiar place for me for many, many years. So we've got to be prepared to be present to whatever this big nudge the universe is offering us at this time, and be prepared to follow through. You know, this is a benevolent universe, and we have to trust the process. Hi Artemisia, hi Kim, hi. It's so lovely to see everybody joining this evening. Really, really appreciate it. So, shall we have a look and see what the roses have got to offer us as insights on this window of time? What can the roses inspire us to as we take these next steps? And as I say, energetically, it is we're going into a really potent few days, and the 10th, 11th and 12th, I really feel will be powerful in our journey. So let's have a look and see what the roses might offer us as wise words or insight for this coming time. I love it, you know, because they are just such wise carriers. The first rose that's come forward is Rose Bagua 5. And the Rose Bagua is a group of 9 roses that offer us an insight in our journey in the world. So the first 3 sets of the roses, the Rose 1 set, the Rose 2 set that work to balance left and right hand hemispheres of the brain, and the 3rd set, the Rose Angels, are all vertical. They're all clearing and realigning the verticality so that we can better be conduits for these higher keys and codes of light down through the body to anchor and connect into the Earth Star, the Gaia Gateway, so that we are rooted and connected and we can be love in action in our journey in the world. So the Rose Bagua, Rose 4, is the first set that take us out on a horizontal plane. But what they do is they bring us in to a heart-centered alignment with ourselves, to breathe out and question what we've got running in these different areas of our lives. What's happening within our relationships, what's happening in our sense of our journey through life, what's happening in our areas of creativity and our connection to the wisdom teachers, the ancients, what's our connection to our wealth and blessings. What is curious is that they all come from this one center point. The vision days, whether it's online or in person, that I run with the roses, we are always coming from the heart space in our view, through the lens of the heart, to view these different areas of our lives. So this rose is actually reminding us to keep coming back to center, not to get caught on the rim of the wheel of our lives, not getting caught out in the action. And actually this time of year, that's really quite tricky, but we're being called to take that breath and come back down to connect into the hub, into the core of our very being before we take the next action. So this Rose Bagua 5, she sits in the middle of the Bagua and she calls us back into this presencing, calls us back into a connection with self, you know, through the breath, through presencing, so that we make considered choices for the next action. We don't get caught action to action to action to action without referencing back. How do I feel about this? What's going on? Am I clear intent? Do I have clear intent for this action? So she's a wonderful, wonderful ally to work with. She's often a rose that gets overlooked in the Bagua, but holds such a powerful place at the hub of the wheel. The Armenian master Gurdjieff speaks of the power of the hub of the wheel and talks about the way that our energy travels up the spokes of the wheel onto the rim. And this is where the activity is. And of course, this is what moves, right? This is the place of the movement. But actually what we need to be is anchored into the hub. Yeah, Sally, she is. She's a really beautiful rose. Hi, Sass. Hi. So I just invite you just to keep your eye on the rose and to perhaps put a hand on your higher heart and just for a moment, just focus on your breath. Just let the activity of the day this far go, because when we focus on the breath, we are in the present moment. And, you know, all opportunity comes in the present moment, whether that's an insight, and it could be an insight as to what we're actually feeling. It may give us just that nanosecond of, maybe there's something else I need to look at here. So she is a beautiful, beautiful energy to work with, and is a real guide on the way home. But she's also calling you into center, so that everything that you move to is considered, and that you're making wise action, wise choice. Just aware of the bit of crackling fire going on behind me. Can't quite see it, I'm in the way. Let's see what the second rose is. It's been really bright in the UK here today, after days and days of either fog or a very flat energy. It's been very welcome to see the sunshine. So we have Rose Angel, I always get the numbers muddled up, Rose Angel 5. So our second rose, and she sits on the throat chakra. So the Rose Angels are the transformers for the 5 wounds to love, of abandonment, betrayal, denial, judgment, and separation. And this rose sits on the throat chakra, and she calls us into attention around our words, and the recognition that our words have power, and to be very mindful of the words that we speak. Now you can see here that she's very open. You know, this sort of corona around her is very open, but it's almost like she's pregnant in the middle. Her lips are sort of pursed like she's whistling, but she's like holding a whole load in. And so what she's inviting you to look at is looking at what has been said and what hasn't been said, what is waiting to be said, and is it something that holds truth? Is it something that, from your trusting of your gut wisdom, is this something that needs to be spoken? So she holds the heart wound of denial. And denial is interesting because, you know, we can deny another by keeping quiet and not speaking. We can deny another person from hearing our wisdom, and you can deny another person from really knowing who you are. As somebody who has a master's degree in people pleasing that I gained in my early childhood, this has been a learned process to trust when there is that huge internal nudge that you can't avoid these days to speak. And what that does is it enables us to be authentic in the world, and it enables us to truthfully share who we are. So this rose is really inviting us to look at how we show up in the world, and what is our expression through our words. And the salve for the wound of denial is truth, is in knowing that we've trusted our gut wisdom and we've filtered it through the heart, so we know that it is authentic, and yet the words of my pranic healing master have just popped into my head, and he said, what comes out of your mouth is more important than what goes in it. First, be kind. So here's the other caveat to speaking your truth. Can it be said in a kind, compassionate and heartfelt way? So this rose, far from being simple, is absolutely loaded. And yet you can see right in the base here, there's gold. There is this place of gold that sits within her. So she is inviting you to just, again, put your hand on your higher heart and just have a little tune in. Is there something that needs to be spoken or shared or expressed? Sometimes it's not even that it's got to be expressed through spoken word. Sometimes it is the fact that, you know, there's an email that needs to be sent. It's really interesting. But just see what comes up for you when there is something that pops into mind, because we are changing so rapidly at this time that things can come up and be cleared really super easily, and sometimes with the most unexpected results. So just invite her to help you know what is right action and what needs to be shared. And also to say, as the caveat to this, that sometimes the best master knows when to keep quiet. Not the best master. The master knows when it is best to keep quiet, when the power is in the silence, not in the speaking. So it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, this is really a journey this evening of it is a refine and align journey. We're looking at this recall to come back to center. Know that we need to really consider our actions. And so when we come back to center and we can perhaps just take a breath, everything comes from a slightly different place. And this rose is saying, you know, what needs to be spoken? And I guess also the question, does it need to be spoken? So that we are again super clear going forward in where we're coming from and the truth of what it is that wants to be expressed. And the throat chakra is the higher octave of the sacral chakra. So you can see where the depth of the truth, what really is absolutely soul aligned in what I'm expressing here. Let's see what the third rose is. They want quite a lot of shuffling this evening. It's interesting. Often not. Okay, let's see. And here we have Rose Ma 7. She's come up as the third rose in the reading this evening. And this rose is from the Rose Ma set, the mother of the rose. So they are the 11 qualities of the awakened and empowered feminine heart field. This rose, and they're all I am. All of these roses came in and said, I am. And when we say I am, there is an ownership of whatever comes afterwards. So this rose says, I am receptive. And so this beauty is saying, is it time to open to receive? We're very, very good at giving, especially us as women. We're programmed very well to give. And isn't it interesting that this time of year is very focused on giving? But how well do you receive? How open are you to receive? It's a bit like the in-breath and the out-breath of God, isn't it? You know, we have to be able to give out in order to breathe in, or breathe out in order to breathe in. And it is said in the wisdom teachings, it is in giving that you receive. So maybe this rose is asking us to consciously be open to receive maybe the bounty of the universe. Maybe it is the goodness and the benevolence in all things, that this is the potential of allowing good things to come in flow, so that you are ready in the energy of the solstice to just receive the guidance, receive the nudges. It's really beautiful. I'm not being able to read the. Yeah, it is Artemisia. The most interesting, that it's the giving time of the year, is also the most yin. And you know, that yin is a receptive energy. It's naturally receptive. I mean, you can see this is actually a really luscious rose. She's a bit yoni shaped, really. A very sensual rose. But she's saying, open to receive, allow. It's really, you know, we have to receive, even if we're working it through self-care. What is it that would enable you to feel like you could give from a full cup, not even a half a cup? What would it take for you to receive in order to be filled to overflowing, to be able to give from that place? So taking time for self-care and self-nurture, really important. And yet it is the busiest time of the year, particularly for us as women. It's a lot to organise, a lot to manage, and particularly if there's children involved, obviously. So there's a lot of demands from a family perspective to, you know, to organise. So make time in order to receive, and also allow yourself to receive the gifts and the acknowledgement, perhaps, of others. So there's our 3 roses for this evening. Rose Bagua 5, coming into centre, remembering to come back to centre, come back into the hub of your life, into your heart, before taking action out on the rim of your life, where all the activity happens, out on the rim, because it's very easy to get caught up in the doingness. And actually this rose seems to be calling us into the beingness. So these are both saying, it's an in-breath, in-breath. And this rose is saying, and it's interesting that the breath comes in and out of the throat. So this rose is saying, just be really mindful. I think also, particularly with this Mars retrograde and with the moon and the fact that it is square to Saturn, I think being very careful and mindful when we might get triggered, or when we might initially go to speak perhaps more harshly than we would do normally. This may also be a reminder that she's offering us, because we can hold so much in and then it goes splat, birth, out. But actually, all of this is asking us to be really considerate about the power of our words. Once spoken, we can't take them back. So she's really powerful to work with. So there we are. There's our 3 roses with some really beautiful energy. And What else have I got to tell you? I've got some new things up on the website. There are there's an introductory course, or introductory class, sorry, for the Rose Oracle. There is an online visioning class that is on the 7th of January. There is an in-person visioning class on Epiphany on the Friday the 6th of January. I've got a brand new 5-part Elemental Rose Dragons course that is starting on the 12th of January. And there are is a special offer for 30-minute rose readings through December, which is also up on the website. And I have this Saturday, fingers crossed, Rose 3 and Rose 4 will be live of the Rose classes. So Rose 1 and Rose 2 are already live. Rose 3 and Rose 4 should be live on Saturday. And the beginning of the week should see Rose 5, 6 and 7. And the new accreditation program will be detailed out by the end of the year. It's been a big year with a big house move and a big recalibration. So everything has got slightly. So yes, they are, Annalie. Yes, they are. They. So the story with the elemental dragons is that the move here to Somerset has connected me into a sacred site here called Burrow Mump. And Burrow Mump, I'm actually doing a live gathering at Burrow Mump on the 19th. I knew there was something else that was going on. It's busy. So Burrow Mump as an energy node is really interesting. And if any of you followed the work of somebody called Rory Duff, he speaks of the nodes as they come into alignment at solstices, equinoxes, and so on. When they come into balance, he sees them as roses, which I find really fascinating. Anyway, the connection with Burrow Mump is fascinating. Burrow Mump has got a strong connection to Rosslyn Chapel, and it's also directly on the longitude line between the Alhambra, which is where the roses came from in 2010, and Rosslyn Chapel, which is where the Rose 2 set came with the 3 master roses. So Burrow Mump and the consciousness of Burrow Mump have been sort of communicating with me, and I've been very drawn to go there on many occasions since I've been here. Only to feel a real connection to the activating energy currents and the activating node at Burrow Mump. And meditating there, I was contacted by 5 energy streams that called themselves elemental rose dragons from the 5D heart of Gaia. And I've just followed the guidance. I've just followed what they have been inspiring me to. And the roses that are the vehicle, the portal for these rose dragons, have already shown themselves. So this is a very interesting pathway for me, because those of you, especially those of you on the call here that have known me for some time, know that dragon isn't my normal energy. It's not, I'm more up there than down here. And the calling is to really connect and align with the elements, the elements of earth, air, fire and water and ether that are connected into these beautiful, beautiful, loving dragon energies. And what they are wanting to do is to help us balance and align, because we are of the earth, right? Every molecule of this body is of the earth, is of the substance of the earth. And what these streams of energy are wanting to do is to connect within us and connecting with the Ida, the Pingala, and the Shushamna energies that run up through the body. And through the rising of these energies, what is activated is a bioplasmic field, a liquid light field, which is part of this next level of activation that I feel as for those of us that are on this journey, that will enable us to hold more of a light quotient. And as these higher levels of photonic light come onto the planet, then we are far better co-creators and visionaries in this new Earth template. So these are exciting times. So I hope that makes sense, Annalie. I think it's it is a beautiful feminine energy, and part of the issue with the Kundalini energy, as it's been taught in many places, it's primarily the male current that is being activated, which is a heating current, which is why there's been so much talk of Kundalini syndrome. But what needs to rise is the cooling and the heating together. So this is why we've been doing so much work around the healing of the divine feminine frequencies. So what the Rose Dragons are wanting to do is to help us allow these two energies to rise together. And it is just sublime work to do. They are the most loving and benign energies, and they are already a unified field. They're already androgynous. They've worked their own polarization and, as I say, come from the 5D heart of Gaia. So they are part of Gaia activating in her next level of frequency for us. Anyway, I hadn't intended to go in that route this evening, but it might be helpful for many to understand that actually the dragons, after they were shut down to a degree, went underground, and some went to Pleiades, and it is time for the activating current that brings us into full sovereignty to be reactivated. And the Rose Dragons are just magical to work with on all levels. I'm working with them with the land as well at the moment with clients, and it's just stunning. So they are amazing. Anyway, all the details, as I say, for any of the things I got organised just now are on the website rosealchemy.com, and I haven't put the solstice gathering up yet, but I will do. I'll get that up by the weekend for anybody that wants to come and join me in person. But it is really a presencing, a loving presencing to the activation. It's more of a beingness than a doingness. Anyway, thank you for joining me. This is the grandmother alchemy bowl and the grandfather alchemy bowl. So we've just got a beautiful synergy of sound tonight. Anyway, much love to you, and it's going to be a powerful day as we move through this full moon. And as I say, remember that the 10th, 11th and 12th are powerful days on our journey to the solstice. Okay, much love and rosy blessings. Bye for now. Bye-bye.